Hello, Spirit Mom. Hello, everybody in the world. My name is Zach, and this is the Spirit Lounge podcast. This month, I am doing the solo podcast, and we're doing it live here on the Spirit Lounge. So if you're not a part of the Spirit Lounge on Facebook, come join our private group where we have mediums giving free readings every week and people sharing and creating a community of spiritual, like minded people to come together and progress each other's practices. So, this is a unique experience. We're doing this live now. And excuse me, I will go full screen. Hi. And we're going to be giving you a astrological perspective of the month ahead and give you some insights, some tips, and then we'll go into our topic of the day, and that is integrity. So, without further ado, let's jump into the chart. So, here we go. So, I will share the whole screen. We have let's close some of these things. Oops. Don't need this. Cool. We have today, it's June 1st, sorry, July 1st, 2021. We're going to start the horoscope back at 1 a.m. So we'll have it at Aries rising. This is the natural zodiac, where in the first house we have Uranus, this planet of individuality. And Uranus, the outer planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune are all agents of permanent change. They change over a long period of time, deeper aspects of our being, our lives. And this is really encouraging us to focus on our individuality. We have this contrast here. Mars is almost exactly across from Saturn, directly opposing each other. And this is creating a degree of frustration. The fourth house of the natural zodiac is Cancer, ruled by the moon. It's with Venus. So in the fourth house, we're feeling a lot of energy, some frustration, some desire to go out, this desire to break free, to move. And we have Venus, this planet of opulence, of nourishment, of sensual pleasure. So we may be having a great time at home while also feeling like we're trapped and being faced with out in the world the 10th house, the 10th sign Capricorn. Saturn is retrograde with Pluto's influence coming in. We're feeling like we actually have this big, difficult work ahead of us, this big responsibility, this purpose in our lives, which is pushing us to face the truth, face reality, face that we've been inside and locked down for a while and we have to get back into our routines. Some of us are realizing our routines are very jarring to get back into. Maybe we feel like we don't want to do these things anymore, and either it's we need to bear the brunt of this contrast that we're experiencing. We're not used to being this stressed or charged with responsibility from such a break. Some people are realizing, wow, this really isn't the lifestyle for me. People who used to work in offices are realizing, I would really rather be at home. I would rather find a different job or take less pay so that I can have this flexibility that I experienced over the course of the pandemic. And this is really the contrast of things. You know, the beginning of the month, it also coincides with this holiday. We have the sun in the natural third house, which the third house can govern siblings, brothers specifically, arts, crafts, but also short distance travel. And we may be traveling short distances to make it to our families and having that short distance experience while still feeling this burning experience, this passion, this intensity from Mars here in the fourth house, giving us this frustration that we don't want to um, deal with our family. We don't want to deal with these situations, that there's this burning experience or this irritation that is causing us to go towards our coping mechanisms or our actual habits or ways to numb out and cover up the way we feel, and it's not working so much anymore. And this is a temporary passing experience for those who may be having this. If we move forward a couple days, we'll have Mars starts to move out of that direct alignment with Saturn. That frustration seems to halt. We move forward even further. Let's go forward a week. Venus changes signs into Leo. Another week, Mars meets Venus again. So that Mars Venus experience is going to come back. We're going to have that passion with intensity, but it's in Leo now in the 4th house. Let's look at the natural zodiac. So that's actually going to be the 5th house. So we might be thinking about our education, our learning, our way we present ourselves or compose our thoughts. We have drive to accomplish new creative projects. We have this interest in a new subject of learning. So you might pick up a new skill or a hobby or a craft that brings you some new outlet of not only ventilating or releasing some of this pent up energy, but also expressing your creativity. The sun moves into the 4th house. So the 4th house becomes another hot area in the chart. It's really this 4th, 10th axis, this home life to work life balance that we're really focused on. Here on the 24th, we will have just had a full moon, which is giving us this new look or this new set of eyes that we'll have to look at our career life, our work life. Our stresses and anxiety, depression may come to light and come to a head. Stress that and tension that's been building up. On the 9th, we have the new moon. There's some darkness or some difficulty around our life purpose. And in the full moon, we have sun across from the moon here, right? Whenever the sun is directly opposite or away from the moon, that's when the full moon happens. Moon with Saturn, that's a natural combination for depression, for grief, for sadness. And so there could be transitions in our work, people leaving our jobs, leaving our own jobs, or coming to the terms with, wow, this job is really um, compressing me, feeling heavy, feeling dense, keeping us constricted and keeping us from that freedom that we're wanting. Now, the saving grace is we do have Jupiter is in Aquarius. It's in the 11th house. It's retrograde, so it's a degree of strength, an unstable or uh, difficult to control strength, right? It gets closer to the planet when it's retrograde. It looks like it's going backwards in the sky, but really it's traveling closer to the planet. And visually, like when you look out a car window and the tires spin backwards, or it looks like they're spinning backwards, but you know it's driving forward. It's the same kind of phenomena. So Jupiter is giving us that sort of protection and this not only expansion of the fruits of our labor, so the work that we do will give us the benefits that we're looking for. The community that we're a part of is going to expand. We're going to experience that broadening of our friend circle, meeting new people. The opportunity to harness this energy is right now, where we get to get back in touch with people that we used to know in, say, our community centers or our places of gathering, whether it's, at the gym Friday morning every week, you meet the same people, or it's the local bar that just opened back up and you run into all those people that you used to hang out with. So there's a lot of contrast happening. And there's no, how do you say, without that grit and that difficulty, that grinding, the satisfaction of the gifts and the breaks and the relief isn't as relieving. You need that contrast, those opposite values, which are complementary to be there. And boy, are they here. So no shortage of contrast here. And we don't have any excuses to hold back from enjoying what's in our life. Directly opposite, we have Venus and Mars together opposite Jupiter, which is creating another degree of contrast. And Jupiter aspecting, this is almost the same degrees. If I go back a little bit, I think we'll have uh, Venus and Jupiter almost directly opposite. This is going to be on the 22nd. So let's see if I move this back. Just trying to keep the orientation in the chart. So 23rd, 22nd is when Venus and Jupiter are going to be totally opposite. So Jupiter, every planet aspects directly across. Jupiter aspects 5 and 9 away also. So our third house in the natural zodiac aspecting Mercury. Mercury is in its own sign. Communication is going to be strong. You're going to be able to teach, to lead, to educate others. Jupiter's aspecting Libra, Venus' sign, while aspecting the Lord of Libra. Relationships are going to be protected, I'd say, in a way. Mars is aspecting its own house in the eighth. We got some sexy vibes happening there. The fourth aspect from Mars isn't so much the sexy aspect. That's really the eighth aspect, which is aspecting the eighth house, or sorry, the 12th house, the eighth away from it right now from Leo. So there's a lot of encouragement for intimacy or this ability to have that joy and pleasure in relationships. And so that can be used as an escape, but the tendency to overindulge can be there with a retrograde Jupiter and Venus. That overexuberance or sensuality can be here. And so we're to summarize and wrap up, we're really looking at these contrasts of Jupiter, Venus, Mars was across from Saturn, so there's that difficulty that gives us relief now towards the end of the month. So getting into the summary of our forecast, beginning of the month is going to be much more tight, fixed, stuck with our family, stuck at home, stuck in our situation, still in our box, frustrated with work. And then there's relief. I get to go out. I get to, explore something new, try something new. There's a new class that's happening at the yoga studio. I can go check it out. The spirit spa is opening back up. We have our Monday night sessions. We can go walk in for readings again without masks. Fantastic. um, Fourth house, we're decorating the house and you know planning out our new addition. And then moving forward, we have that new moon, which really brings to light, sorry, the full moon at the end of the month. It brings to light um, the challenge that we've actually been dealing with. That which has been in the dark is going to be it's going to be revealed. And that's going to be, let's see, I can go back. I'm trying to hit the right hour. On the 24th, this full moon really just brings to light um, how and why we're feeling our difficulty, um, or how we're causing it or contributing to it. And that is going to give us, you know, this new foundation or ground to work from, because without this awareness, you won't know what to do. But up until this point, it's feeling like you're in the dark. Of course, leading up to the full moon, yeah, you'll feel some, it's coming. It's like you see a zit forming on your head. And as it gets closer to the full moon, it expands and grows and um, it gets ready to pop and becomes ripe. And then you just, that expanding zit, and then it pops on its own. Like, you go do a workout, and then you notice like, oh, it's oozing, like, because ideally you don't want to actually like squeeze and pop open zits, right? You want to let it ripen on its own terms and then release. So this is really going to be the setup. We're a big zit ready to pop going into um, August, and in August we'll get back to you with the actual next steps and update you on the forecast with the astrology, where the planets are, what's coming up for us. And that is it for the solo Spirit Lounge cast today. And for those watching on the Spirit Lounge, for my usual Thursday night tarot card readings, I will be back in just a moment. But I hope you enjoyed this meeting or this session. And please, you can check in the links, thespiritlounge.simplecast.com. If you want to find us on iTunes, give us a review, and you'll be entered to be chosen as a winner to win a free reading from myself or Gina. So until next time, take care. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Today in the Spirit Lounge, our topic is integrity. what is integrity? Why is it important? Um, I'm really drawing this from the teachings of Landmark or Werner Erhard, who created they called it the Forum. It was the EST training before it was bought by Landmark Worldwide, and they utilized that intellectual property to teach a transformational psychology. So, integrity, they have these distinctions. One of these distinctions is integrity. Without integrity, nothing works. And this truth that is evident when you honor your word and be true to your word, then you maintain integrity. To have integrity is to view yourself in an empowering context, meaning you see yourself as a whole, complete, solid, powerful being. You are whole and complete and innocent. You are pure joy, you're pure spirit, whatever your version is, but that you're empowered, that you have capabilities, you have strength, you have capacity, skills, willpower, value, all of these things that it may be for you. You view yourself as empowered and you honor your word and you um, do your best to stay true to your word. So, for example, I'm going to be on time. That could be integrity, showing up to your job on time every day. That's part of integrity, right? If you're scheduled to be clocked in 5 minutes before 9 a.m. every single day, then that's honoring your commitment. To honor that word can also look like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. There was just a big car accident. This road is blocked. To immediately call my work and say, hi, yeah, there's this big accident. The entire road that I'm on is blocked, and I'll be there as soon as I can get through. And even if you're going to be 2 minutes late, you still make that call, or send that text, and communicate and honor your word, honor your commitment. And when you do this, when you act with integrity, then you gain power. You work from a place that is empowered. And in the vein that everything you do is infused with the consciousness in which you do it, you then create more powerfully, more completely. You create things with integrity also. You make commitments that are in alignment with maintaining that integrity that is your being. And then things work. Now, the analogy they give is if you imagine a bicycle wheel and there's spokes in this bicycle wheel. Ideally, in a normal functioning bicycle wheel that has structural integrity, all of these spokes are straight. But if one of these spokes gets bent, say a kid comes up and kicks a spoke and bends it, then it loses integrity. And bit by bit, then as presses on that spot, then it'll start to cave in, then another spoke will go, then another, and then eventually the bike wheel will then dent and break and bend, and you won't be able to use it anymore. You won't get very far. Or if you do get somewhere, you're going to be on a pretty bumpy road. So maintaining integrity is important to continue to make things work in your world and in your life. And if you're able to keep that continuity of integrity, then everything you create on and on into your life will work, right? Now, there's some idealism in here. Part of the reality of being human is we make mistakes. We misjudge situations. We misjudge ourselves. We could potentially overestimate our capacity at times and get out of integrity. Honoring your word could look like acknowledging your limitations, like, I made these commitments. I recognize that I made these commitments and I'm no longer able to follow through with them. And regaining integrity can be acknowledging these things and then making a new commitment. So as opposed to, you know, going into victim mode or trying to pass off blame or responsibility, taking ownership of that mistake, that weakness or lack of integrity that's occurred, you can re-engage and reclaim your integrity and fortify the integrity of your being. Because every time you come back into integrity, you come back into that alignment, you gain strength. You gain that familiarity of what integrity feels like even more. And you know what it's like to be out of and come back into integrity. Oftentimes with trauma, people lose their integrity of a being. They lose that empowering context. Through that trauma, they believe that they're not worthy people or some story that they learned when they were young. Um, and this isn't everybody, and it's to varying degrees, but coming back into integrity can be releasing trauma, releasing this perspective. If part of your trauma is being verbally abused and degraded, then your perception of yourself and your beliefs about yourself could be altered because you had to submit to that belief in order to become safe for that temporary amount of time that you endured that situation. And I'm not trying to blame any victims here. It's that that's a coping and survival mechanism that you chose or one chooses to then get through to the other side. Everybody would do that same choice being in that same situation. So the the wisdom of this is that from this clear space, you can create a new life for yourself. You can choose to be in integrity, recognizing your empowerment, committing to that, seeing yourself in that light and acting from that, knowing that you are this whole complete being that will move forward into the next life or into the next stage of your life um, with that power and with that essence and energy. That way, um, you're in alignment with your purpose. Your purpose is to live in alignment with yourself, your nature, your essence, your power, your strength. And when you claim that power, then you serve the world. You give the world the gift of you. And that's what we all need. We need you to be your highest and best self. So with that, we close the Spirit Lounge, our solo session with Zach here. Gina will be back next time for our August Spirit Lounge. And until next time, I wish you very well. Take care.